We're continuing after a rather long hiatus with our study of Mareh Yaakov. As with every week, we're going to try a little bit of Parshat Shavua to see if we can apply the principles that we've learned. This week we read B'chukotai, we read B'tochecha, and B'tochecha tells what's going to happen to the Jewish people if they follow the rules and what's going to happen if they don't. And I'm going to read you the English first. We're in Vayikra Kaf-Vav, Pasuk Lamed Daled, sentence 34. Then the land will be appeased for its sabbaticals during all the years of its desolation, while you're in the land of your foes. Then the land will rest, and it will be and will appease for its sabbaticals. The second half of the sentence sort of sounds exactly like the first half of the sentence. So, if you remember one of the principles that I introduced, that's not actually in the Sefer, but one of the principles that I introduced is that the first half of a sentence is usually the more elevated half of the sentence, and the second half is the more earthly half of the sentence. So we're talking the situation where the people of Israel are going to get punishment, and they're going to be banished from their land, and then the land will enjoy the seventh year because the people who are doing bad things on it aren't there anymore. And if they weren't going to stop planting crops on the seventh year, then the land was going to make itself barren of people so that it would not have any crops planted on the seventh year. So I'm going to read the sentence again. Then the land will be appeased for its sabbaticals, for the seventh year, when nobody's supposed to be planting, during all the years of its desolation. And you're not there anymore. Well, you were in the land of your foes. You're going to be somewhere else. You're going to be exiled. Then the land will rest, and it will appease for its sabbaticals. So again, we've got the same thing twice. Let's see what the notes tell us. The first az tirtzeh haaretz, v'hirtzat shabtoteha, v'yimei hashama v'yatem b'oretz avichem, az tishbot haaretz, v'hirtzat shabtoteha. You notice the first half of the sentence begins with az, and the second half of the sentence begins with az. So that's obviously the clue here as to why we're able to say the same thing twice, and it's going to tell us what the difference is between the two of them. And the notes are going to guide us to why we can say the same thing twice and have it mean something completely different. The first one, az, with the Tlishak Tana. Tlishak Tana is a note that goes on top of the word at the last place that it can be, on top of the last letter, and always tells us that it's looking forward to what's going to go afterwards. Because it comes at the end of the word, so it tells you that this is what's going to go from here on in. So, az tirtzeh haaretz et shabtoteha, after you've been punished and you've learned your lesson, not only is the land going to rest when you're not there, but that's what's going to continue from there on in. This is the higher, more elevated thing. Sure, the land will rest while you're not there, but you not being there is going to be an object lesson to you to come back and to do it right the next time. And from then on, things are going to be good. So our second az in the second half of the sentence, the more earthly half of the sentence, has got to be a backwards looking one. Az with the epitome of a backwards looking note, a yativ. A yativ is something that not only comes under the first letter, it comes even before the vowel of the first letter. It comes as far back as you can go. So what's this telling us? The land is going to rest because of what you did. You're going to have to learn the object lesson from what you did in the past. That's the earthly half. You're going to have to learn the lesson of why you got exiled. And then we understand that even though this is tochecha, even though this is rebuke in order to improve us. This is rebuke that is done as an object lesson for us to learn. it's going to be that way in the future. That first Az with the Tlisha, because you had to force it to happen. Us looking backwards, you forced it to happen that way, and that's why you had to learn the hard lesson. Again, almost the exact same phrase, with the exact same word, with two different notes that tell us the story of what's going on and why we can say the same thing twice and have it mean something completely different.
Cool. Yes, it does.